It's good to say this. The gate was $3.3 million. Arena record. We broke the arena record. 15,269 people here tonight. Fight of the night is the flyweights. Molina and Adjaquiling. Yeah. Fight gonna be a long fucking press conference, boys and girls. Performance of the night, Wuzman Rose. They all won $50,000. Kamar was only the second. The fuck is going on back there? Kamar was only the second person to knock out Masvidal, and Rose is the first female to ever win the title. I guess it's never been done before. So, congrats to all of them. What a week, what a night. What's up?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I'm sure you'll want to kind of decompress, right? I mean, this card was amazing on its own, but then to be the first one back, I mean, how do you sum up everything that happened tonight, just how you're feeling at the moment?
Yeah, it was an amazing night. I think, oh, sorry, yeah, Okay. I felt it yesterday, too, at the weigh-ins and at the fighter meeting. Felt weird, felt different at the fighter meeting yesterday, and you know, these guys came out tonight and performed from the first fight of the night to the main event, and obviously the fans were absolutely insane. It was really. I mean, we had this conversation. I've talked to some of you personally about it, and I've talked to you guys, you know, about it, but. There's just a different energy you get when people are here. And tonight was insane.
We've got a lot to talk about in terms of fights, but Chris Weidman, what's the latest with him? Do you have any medical updates on him?
He's stable right now, and he'll have surgery in the morning.
Good. Jimmy Crute as well? I mean, was that one of those weird ones with the nerve, or did he maybe a ligament? Do we know?
Yeah, no, I don't think that's a nerve. I think he blew his knee. There's something wrong. And listen, I'm no doctor, but yeah, his knee is not right.
Let's talk about Kamar Wuzman. As you said, just an absolutely amazing performance from him tonight. I don't think anybody saw the fight ending that way. Just what are your thoughts on him? And he's saying, hey, I'm pound for pound number one. I mean, are you looking at him as that as well?
Yeah, listen, I think we can all agree. No matter how you feel, you know, the guy's getting booed in there tonight. He's one of the best ever, and he's on his way to probably being the greatest of all time. I mean, the guy is an absolute stud. He looks better every time he comes out. You know, these people talk about him being boring. You're an idiot. You're an idiot if you think this guy's boring. He hasn't been in a boring fight in a while, and you know, he changed after he did that whole "I only gave 30% tonight" thing. He's been a different human being ever since the RDA fight.
No doubt. Colby Covington was in the building. Does that seem like the fight to make now? I mean, obviously the history there.
It's the fight to make. Yeah, he's the #1 guy in the world, and. You know, Usman's thing was he didn't want him to be the backup. He's like, I want Masvidal, then I want to camp, and I'll take him again. And, you know, he's like, I'm going to start lapping these guys. But for him to really cement your legacy, you know, when you go in and you beat the guys who are looked at as the best in the world at that time, and you beat them twice, and you beat them convincingly, you know, it's all just part of cementing that legacy that this guy's going to end up having someday.
Can you get your thoughts on Rose? Obviously an incredible win for her, and then emotional scenes. I mean, Joe Rogan's in there crying. I mean, what were your thoughts on just the whole thing?
Tonight was special, man. Tonight was a special night in so many different ways. You know, monumental for us to be back first. Yeah, it was a big night, and everybody fought like it was a big night.
That division strawweight so deep with amazing fighters. Do you see a clear-cut #1 contender for Rose, or is this one that we're going to have to kind of figure out what makes sense?
Listen, obviously the rematch is, you know, that's a fun fight, and I think a lot of people will be excited about that fight. But, you know, I don't make fights the night of the fight, but I'm just saying off the top of my head, that makes a lot of sense.
Last thing on fights, Valentina. I mean, I think we're running out of superlatives to describe how good she is. I mean, what can you say about Valentina?
It's almost like Tell me if this is how you felt tonight when she was fighting. Like, she was pissed. Like, she was mad that anybody could, because I love this fight because I knew Jessica Andrade was going to show something that she hasn't seen yet, and she was going to be in her face, and she was going to do this, and she was going to do that. And it's like, she was like a fucking demon tonight. Pissed off that anybody believed that was possible, and she looked incredible. You know, it was one of the best performances of her career.
Yeah, it was. And so everybody's saying, look, the only person that could possibly beat her is Amanda Nunes. But I mean, they're in different weight classes. I'm curious. Is that an appealing fight to you, or do you feel like they should have their own kind of legacy?
Yeah, their own legacies. Listen, they fought a couple times. You know, people can think whatever they want. There's always somebody else coming up. There's always a new contender. And it's not Valentina's fault that she's, one of the all-time baddest women on this planet. So making her move up to 135 pounds just doesn't make sense. They did it twice. Yeah. Listen, if they both come to me and they both want to do it and whatever, then I'll make it happen. But it's not something I'm thinking about.
We almost got Daniel Cormier out of retirement tonight to fight Jake Paul. I'm just curious what you thought about that whole spectacle. I mean, the crowd was chanting Jake Paul. They had the little confrontation there.
Listen, I've said it before and I'll say it again. This kid's done a good job of putting himself in a place to make some money, man. So good for him. He's got you guys talking about him all the time and asking questions about him, and got Daniel Cormier running after him. So he's doing something right. He knocked out an NBA guy that was 40 years old and 30 pounds less than him, and I don't even know what to think about the Askren thing, man. The whole thing is fucking mind-boggling to me, but hey, good for him. Grab that money while you can, kid.
I was gonna say, would you ever do business with him? I mean, it sounds weird, but the numbers are there.
The numbers are there? Nah, I don't know if the numbers are there. Listen, do you know what would happen to this guy? He ain't fighting in the UFC. These guys are... You're getting me talking about this fucking guy again. He's getting hand-picked opponents, and God knows what else is going on with that whole fucking thing. It's all... There is a market for that. That's not what I do. That is not what I do. People want to see that, and people want to see it, and it's great. And this kid's going to make a couple bucks before this ride is over, and it's just not what I do. What I do is what happened tonight. What happened tonight is we sold this place out, and it was packed, and the numbers that you're hearing that they did are full of shit. They're full of shit, okay? They didn't pull those kind of numbers at all, not even fucking close. And tonight, what happened here tonight is what I do. The best versus the best. There is a market for that. People want to see that stuff, and that kid's going to make a couple bucks, and good for him. But that's not what I do.
Last thing for me, Danny, we're going back to the Apex next week, right? I mean, I'm just curious what you can say about the future right now, because I'm wondering if this weekend maybe had some venues call you, some governments call you, that sort of thing, and say, hey, we see what you did there. We'd like a little piece of that too.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're going to Houston. We're going to Vegas, and then we're talking about possibly Arizona, and we'll see what else opens up. But I think that after tonight, give it a week, let all the fallout. There'll probably be some negative shit. Who knows? You know what I mean? I went in on the Review Journal today. I went in on the Review Journal, and let me say this to you guys. I think a lot of us here like Adam Hill and are friends with Adam Hill. And I did not say Adam Hill, right? Because I know that you all have arrogant, smug, fucking editors, pompous-ass editors who write your headlines for you sometimes, and, some of the other bullshit that goes in there. And it just pissed me off that the day of the fight to read that in my own hometown newspaper. Fuck the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Fuck them. Dirty. I thought it was dirty. I thought it was a low blow. And, listen, at the end of the day, people can write whatever they want. So can I. So can I.
Dana.
Yep.
You often say that you're in the business of providing holy shit moments for fans, right?
Right.
Looking at the first fight of the pay-per-view to the main event, would you describe this as a home run in terms of that?
Yeah, listen, I don't think it gets any better than tonight. I mean, you couldn't have a better night than tonight. I mean, I don't know how you guys felt, but Tonight was the whole night was a holy shit night. I mean, there wasn't like, oh yeah, we had a couple of holy shit moments tonight. The whole night was a holy shit. It was amazing. The crowd was amazing. The fights were amazing, and you know, I think when it went off, Rose was like plus 165. You know, you had underdogs winning, and it was a pretty badass night.
I think we all know how much this event in particular has meant to you. You wanted to be first with fans back in the building. You've always said that we should try and push on during the pandemic. To do it, to pull it off, to have the entire night be a holy shit night, how important is this event to your career, personally?
You know, we've had a lot of milestones and, you know, things like that. I think just the whole getting through COVID, doing it safely, being the first one to come back, and then, you know, doing this tonight with a full indoor crowd. We COVID tested this whole week with the athletes and us. I COVID tested all week, and everybody was good, and we did it again. You know, it's time to get back to normal. You know, and I know a lot of you guys in the media don't feel exactly the way I do about a lot of things, but you can't deny it felt pretty fucking good to be in Florida this week and be normal. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't want to wear a mask, don't wear a mask. And when I saw people wear masks, I didn't say anything to people wear masks. When people saw people that weren't wearing masks, nobody said anything to people that weren't wearing masks. Everybody's just doing their things. You know what? People seem like they're a lot happier down here in Florida than they are in some of these other fucking states. You know what I mean? Everybody's doing their thing down here and living their life, and that's the way it's supposed to be. So it felt good to be here. It felt good to have, you know, the mayor, the governor, and all these people working with us to put on a safe event and for people to come out and have fun. It was awesome. It literally couldn't have been better. We couldn't have planned this any better or done it any better than we did.
Last thing for me, Nick Diaz was in attendance tonight. Is that just as a guest, or is there something going on there?
Yeah, Nick wants to fight.
Are you willing to give him a fight?
Sure.
Give us a name against who?
I will see how this goes.
Do you have? Is there any time frame?
He's waiting for me in the back right now. I'm going to go talk to him. So.
Bring him out here if you want.
No, that's
Okay.
all right. I'm sure he wouldn't like that.
Dana,
over here.
Hey,
Over here.
yes, sir.
What do you think is the best pay-per-view that y'all put on? The 217 when you had the 3 belts when Rose first holy shit moment, or tonight? Because they're pretty
Different,
identical.
very different, very different. You know, tonight was a big deal on a lot of different levels. You know, being back with 100. I said I wouldn't come back without 100% of fans. We did tonight, and like we were talking about, it couldn't have been any better. So tonight's different than any other show we've ever put on.
In your opinion, did that kick solidify Rose as a certified future Hall of Famer and put that stamp, gold stamp of approval?
Yeah, first female to ever regain her title again. Never been done. And Ali, obviously, I know I do, and I know a lot, you do too, respect Whaley and how incredible she is and what a tough fighter she is, how hard she works, how hard she trains. And to come out and do what she did tonight was very impressive.
I'll get to Kamar in a second. What do you do with Jorge next? Nobody's really talked about that since we didn't expect what we just saw to happen.
I don't know. I don't know what's next for him. We'll see. But, you know, Kamar Wuzman has cemented, you know, his legacy as one of the greatest ever in that division.
If he calls you up next week from his home in Dallas and says, hey, I want a super fight, do you think he's done enough to earn it? Since I know he had
Colby Covington's next. Colby Covington deserves the next shot.
And final question for me. From this point on, do you think the UFC will have that mentality to keep setting the standard on all the way around? Because in the boxing side, people see that number that you said was bullshit, the 1.3, and they want to know where the numbers are going to come from the pay-per-view side. What you got to say to that criticism? Because Jake Paul comes out of nowhere busting all this money, and then people are saying a fake fighter is making real money.
How much did he make?
He made, well, bonuses, they said 2.5 to 3 mil.
Yeah. They said they did fucking 2 million pay-per-view buys, too.
At
I don't believe...
It's 1.3.
Okay. I didn't do that either. I don't believe anything they say. That's a fucking circus. That's not a real... None of that's real. I mean, do you think any of that shit that's going on over there is real? Come on, man. I built a real business here, a real sport. That's a freak show.
Hey, Dana, over here on your
Yeah.
left.
Wait, this guy's first. Go ahead.
Last year, you came to Jacksonville under different circumstances. You had 3 events here. This year, full card, full house, everything. Just speak to Jacksonville and Florida's accommodations for you personally and the UFC.
What's the question again?
You came here last year
Yeah.
under different circumstances.
Yeah.
This year, you came and sold out the card. Just kind of speak to your dealings with Governor DeSantis, Mayor Curry, and just everybody you dealt with here.
I can't say enough good things. You know, it's like when the pandemic happened, I needed people that were going to help us and work with us and try to make this thing safe and instead of just hiding and saying nothing can be done and just shutting down and laying people off and you know, that's never an answer. So to be able to have like-minded people that were willing to try to pull this thing off safely, and these guys were so good to us coming in. I said, listen, when this thing opens back up, I will reciprocate and I will come back and I'll put on a fight that means something to this city. And you couldn't get a hotel room this weekend in Jacksonville. We tried to get more hotel rooms for people that were coming in. We couldn't. I don't know what your experiences were with restaurants, but restaurants were hard to get into. Bars were packed. I mean, this town was booming this weekend, and that was how I wanted to pay Jacksonville back for what they did for me a year ago to help me run my business.
Will you be back again, Jacksonville? You plan in the future?
Absolutely. I mean, now, you know, what we want to do is we'll move all over Florida and, you know, do a lot of different cities in Florida to repay the governor of this state for everything he's done for us. Thank you.
Dana, you recently announced Adesanya was going to be fighting Marvin Vettori, and I heard you mention that Robert Whittaker is next. Is that locked in? He doesn't have to worry about fighting another guy. He's earned the right to wait it out?
Well, he should have been. He was who we wanted to fight next.
And then secondly, I'm wondering, because we're now traveling around the United States, Houston, going back to Vegas, I want to ask Abu Dhabi, is Fight Island technically still a thing, or is it that now just we're going to Abu Dhabi annually as before?
No, Fight Island's a thing. I said at the last press conference, I will see you guys soon and walk you through what's next on Fight Island. There's a lot happening on Fight Island.
And then my final question, Rose Namajunas, I feel like sometimes the conception is that she's had an up and down relationship with all the attention that comes with being a UFC champion. I was just wondering, just what are your conversations with her? How have they been like, and how she's changed and grown over the years?
No, she's one of the sweetest human beings you'll ever meet. We love Rose. But yeah, Rose doesn't love all the attention when she's the champ and doesn't, you know, it's one of those things that you have to, it's part of the gig, it's part of the deal. But it hasn't made the fans love her any less. I mean, listen to this place tonight. People love Rose Namajunas. So we'll just let Rose be Rose, and I won't mess with her. Let her do her thing.
Congratulations on the night.
Thank you.
Dana back here. Right here.
Yeah.
This is obviously an event with massive interest. The last one in January, you kind of went after a lot of streamers. Any streamers this time you shut down?
You know, I wasn't even focused on streamers tonight.
That's a first.
Yeah, I had other issues tonight. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure this event went off. Yeah, we didn't even talk about streaming this whole week.
Dana over here.
Yeah.
Dana. You know, we've been talking about the strawweight division a lot, and it was a whole year since we saw the last title fight with Whaley and Joanna. I'm assuming you're going to want to hope to maybe have that title a bit more active with the division being so deep right now.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
All right, great. And I know you had a little bit of a small reunion a week or so ago with Nobuyuki Sakakibara, Ryzen founder, Pride founder. Just curious if you can tell us, anything about how that went, what it was about.
Yeah, no, it was good to see him, and yeah, we got together a couple times that week that he was in town and talked, and yeah, it was good.
All right, thanks, Dana.
Thank you.
Dana over here. Hey, Dana.
Go, Shmo's next. Go ahead, Shmo.
Dana, unfortunate situation with Chris Weidman's injury. Where would you say it ranks among the worst injuries you've seen so far?
It's only happened 3 times. Two of the guys that were involved in this. The irony of that whole thing is crazy.
Were you able to see him?
You guys, I'm going to go see him before I leave, yeah. How loud was that? Holy shit. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, and he yeah, I don't even know what to say about that.
And then lastly, I know you're going to go meet with Nick Diaz, but is it crazy to throw out Khamzat Chimaev as a potential opponent for him?
No. Go ahead,
Dana
sir.
over here.
Yep.
So with Kamaru's victory tonight, the UFC still has 3 African-born champions, Kamaru, Ngannou, and Adesanya. Is UFC Africa still a strong possibility?
22.
22?
Yeah.
And earlier in this week, you said in an interview that John Jones priced himself out of negotiations by asking for $30 million guaranteed. He later went on Twitter and refuted that claim, saying that he never discussed that figure. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Okay.
Thanks, Dana.
Yeah.
Dana over here. Hi. Sulaiman Falana with BBC Africa. You had prefaced part of my question by saying that Kamaru has come way from when he said 30% to now, the way he's actually been fighting so far recently. In one word, how would you describe Kamar Wuzman so far?
I love watching Usman fight. This guy comes in, if you look at him in his early career, he was one of those wrestlers that would come in and take you down, put you against the fence, try to grind you. He has completely evolved as a fighter. He's standing and knocking out Jorge Masvidal. I said it the other day, and I'll say it a million more times. The fight with him and Colby Covington is one of the greatest fights I've ever seen. Those two stood in there toe-to-toe, blasting each other until, Colby went down with a broken jaw. He's not afraid to trade with anybody. He's not afraid to stand with anybody. If he has to wrestle, he wrestles. He's become an unbelievable, well-rounded fighter, one of the greatest ever, and on his way to possibly being the best ever.
Now, you said UFC Africa's 2022. Would you definitely have all 3 African champions on that card if they're still champion by then?
Will I have all of them on there?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Well, we'll see. You know how quick this landscape changes in a year. We'll see where we're at in 22 when we're planning on going there, and who's where and what's going on. But I also believe that the amount of talent, raw talent that is possibly over there, and if you look at what we did all over the world in places that we've gone, whether it's Europe or we went into Australia, Canada, when we put on live events in these places, it ignites, training facilities start opening up, people start training, and I think you're going to see some bad dudes coming out of Africa in the next 5 to 10 years.
All right, thank you, Dana.
Thank you.
Dan, just a couple more. As far as Usman, are you trying to keep him busy this year? Because you look at this division, I know you said Colby's next, but we have Nate Diaz and Leon Edwards in a couple weeks. We have Burns and Wonderboy. Like there's quite a queue building up for him.
Yeah, I don't think there is. Right now, the clear-cut guy right now is Colby. And then we'll see how all these other things play out for the next contender. But, there's no doubt that Colby Covington's the next guy.
And as far as Uriah Hall, obviously kind of a weird way to get a win tonight, but is this the kind of victory that moves him forward? Because obviously, beats Anderson Silva, beats Chris Weidman, arguably the 2 greatest middleweight champions in UFC history back-to-back. Yeah. It's a weird win, like you said. It's a weird win for him. But listen, a win is a win. So you didn't really get to see what Uriah's got tonight, but maybe we can turn him around quick and get him another fight. Do you worry this is something Chris Weidman might not be able to come back from? It's not like he's a very young guy. We saw the challenges Anderson Silva had with the same injury.
Let's not. I don't even want to talk about it tonight. I don't want to say anything fucking. The guy's laying in the hospital right now. So let's see how he gets through this injury, and we'll go from there.
We'll send him our best.
Thanks.
Just here. Dana, Amanda and Valentina don't seem to like to talk about their third fight, but people want to see the third fight. Do you see Amanda and Valentina happening anytime soon?
We just talked about this.
Sorry, I was back there.
Welcome to the press conference. Good to see you.
Sorry.
We literally just talked about this.
Sorry. And now that she's defending Juliana, I heard the randomie is hurt. Where does Irene Aldana stands now? If she have a fight coming soon, if she could be be ready for in case that Juliana gets injured or something like that?
I'll need a translator for that one.
Does Aldana have a fight?
Aldana? Does Aldana have a fight?
And like, could she be a backup for the title fight?
I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know the answer to that question, sir.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah? Have a good night, you guys. Thanks.
Valentina, congratulations on, I mean, what seemed like a pretty flawless performance. I'm sure you'll want to go back and watch it and that sort of thing, but how are you feeling after a fight like that?
Feels amazing. It's the best feeling that anyone can have. Like every victory, it's bring a lot of happiness, and definitely when you finish like earlier by like stoppage or whatever, it brings more feelings. And third, it's all fans. It's made a big difference. It was like, it's totally different feeling. It's so much energy leading to the fight. And you know, it's kind of like you walk out to the fight in certain level of energy. When I heard everyone like roaring and like saying my name, my energy went like to the ceiling, all the way up.
Did you anticipate that? I mean, obviously you fought in front of packed arenas before, but did you maybe forget like how that feels to a degree?
It's definitely, I definitely forget how it feels. But I'm glad that I had opportunity to remind everything. It was great. It was great. And I'm so happy, so proud to be one of the first ones, one of the first fighters who fought in this huge event after the whole like fighting in silence. And it was amazing. And I really hope and I believe that it's going to be big step toward like normal life, having more like states open for this kind of events, because I think it's very important and for all people, fans, fighters, everything, everyone.
As far as your performance, I mean, obviously you're a well-rounded fighter, but the takedowns, it was incredible how many you had. And did you know going in, like, hey, we're going to be able to take her down with ease, or did you just think, like, as it unfolded, hey, let's go with that?
It was not the plan. It was not that, okay, I will have to go for takedown. I will wrestle her. It was not the plan. My plan was simple, to go there and dominate. I didn't know how I gonna do it, like striking, wrestling, grappling. I didn't know exactly, but I prepared everything. And my body is kind of like choosing by itself what tactic it's gonna use, depending of my opponent. And once it's like feel her power, like what is the best way, it's just like doing what it has to do.
Once you got in the crucifix, you started throwing the elbows and you started throwing them really fast. It looked like you knew the finish was there. So what clicked? I mean, did you feel her break a little bit, or did you just know she was in a bad spot, not getting out?
First, I felt that I'm very heavy on her, and there is no way she can get out of that position. And I threw a few elbows, and I saw blood. Then I throw a little bit more. I hear the voice of referee going here, like Jessica defend herself, and I saw that she cannot defend herself. And then definitely I accelerate a lot my elbows.
Nice. I'm wondering, kind of a weird question, but as you were getting ready for this fight, did you see what happened with Chris Weidman before your fight? And I wonder, was that difficult, right? I mean, you've got to walk to the cage after seeing that. Can you talk to me about what was going through your mind? And
Oh my God, it's like I'm not wish to any fighter this kind of injuries, because it's like so much they have to heal, and it's like it's bad. And you know, I was kind of, we had TV in our changing room. When I saw it, I turned my head, I turned out, and it was like I could not watch it even before the fight, because it's like it was so bad. And you know, before the fight, everyone, a lot of questions I had about like calf kicks, and I told every time it can be very good but very dangerous. It's dangerous not only for your opponent but for you too. And this is like when you throw these kicks, like low kicks, you have to prepare for this because so many breaks happen in shin to shin or when you kick to the knee. That's why it's like, for me, it's not the best technique. You have to be very careful.
Last thing for me, I mean, your reign is so dominant at this point. I mean, people are saying there's nobody that can beat you. I mean, what does appeal to you? I know you said, hey, just line them up and I'll fight them. But are there any, whether it be names, whether it be, things you want to accomplish? I mean, what is it that you want to do?
I just want to, I don't know, for me it seems like very simple when you like, okay, this name or that name. It's like everyone do that, the names. I want to do something different. I want to do like just continue be show and be real martial artist. Just like not someone who, okay, this name is convenient. It looks like more bringing more like stuff or as this one it's like not so. I just don't like these things. I want like to be very honest in what I do and just like continue what I do in my weight class and my weight division. Doesn't matter who's gonna be in front of me, I just want to fight them to prove that I'm better. And I really like that how this fight played before the fight, what people created so much interest about, like, oh, Jessica, she bring like so much, and even like some people they was doubting like if I can handle it. But from one point I just didn't want to say anything before the fight. I really liked it because from one side it's creating some kind of interest for the fight and everyone like, oh, maybe this is something. But I was so sure in my power, what I can do and what I can bring. That's why I was like, okay, it's going to be a surprise for you. I will let you believe in your power. But
Tina at the front. Dana was just in here, and he said he felt like you were angry all week, like you wanted to prove people wrong, and he was building up Jessica Andrade, and maybe you wanted to prove him wrong too. Was that your mindset at all this week?
I tried to not bring any emotional things inside of the fight, but I felt more it's about fans. They bring me this like feeling what I had today. It's like I said, my energy just striked all the way up, and I felt like, okay. And it's kind of interesting if you could see like fights what I had before. For example, when I fought Holly Holm, everyone was thinking that she gonna outstrike me. No, my body decided I will outstrike her. And when I fought Juliana Pena, everyone said, oh, it's gonna be like submission. If they go to the ground, Juliana gonna submit her. No, I submit her. So my body decided, not me. I just prepared it for doing this.
And did you get a chance to see Rose's head kick knockout? What did you make of that?
I saw just a little bit. I saw not there like at the moment, just a little bit because we did some interviews. But I told it from the beginning that Rose gonna win this fight, that I believe that Rose can do it. And I don't know, like people still doubting, but I told it.
Over here, Valentina. Where does your cerebral assassin mindset come from? Because like you stay in the moment, but it's like you'll shoot somebody and just walk away like a certified gangster. Where does that come from?
I don't know, it's maybe just I am like that. When it's time to action, I just convert in total different person. And I don't know, it's, I've been in martial arts for so long, 28 years. I do martial art, 28 years. Now fighters, they have 21, 22, but I'm fighting 28 years. And it's just like everything that I do, because I know exactly that inside of the octagon, they want to hurt you. Your opponent wants to hurt you. she's not gonna have pity for you. If she has opportunity to break your arm, she will do it. She will have everything to win. And I not gonna let her do that things. That's why I just convert me in this like kind of person who has to take the victory, who has to dominate the fight, who has to see everything what opponent's gonna bring to the fight.
And of course, you're in this sport to be the best. So this is a two-part question. One, does it piss you off the fact that they have you perennially number 2 pound-for-pound woman in the world? And do you have to see Amanda one more time before your career's over for you to be satisfied? Or if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't.
I can say exactly about my fighter career. It's not gonna over soon. I'm planning to fight for a long time. And, I feel that this fight is just gonna happen. And I'm not gonna like push it in saying like, oh, give me Amanda right now, I'm gonna break her face. I'm not gonna say it because I know this fight gonna happen. And it's gonna happen just naturally when everyone will feel like there is no more. Only this fight makes sense for everyone. When like all fans, they're gonna like, oh, we want to see this fight. When UFC, when Dana White will say, oh, we just need this fight. And I think that when it's time happen, it's gonna be something big and huge. And I will be ready for this. I'm already ready for this, but I will make sure to gain some pounds back.
And final question for me, who do you want to see next to the octagon, and how big a deal is it to clear out the division, just kind of like you said? Do you think that will force everybody's hand that you get that fight that you want in the back of your head?
Right now, it's hard for me to think. I know it's like everyone you're wanted to hear the name and trying like straight after the fight, like give me the next name, right? But it's hard for me to do it right now because when I prepared for Jessica, I was thinking only about Jessica. I don't know, I even don't know who's gonna fight in my flyweight division next. I don't know who's next they're fighting because I was so focused on my fight. And now I coming back tomorrow home, I will start to see what's happening in flyweight. And of course, I will help my sister in her training camp because she's fighting UFC 262 in Houston. I will rest tomorrow, Sunday, but Monday I will back to the gym to help her in her preparation.
Valentina, over here. Valentina, this may seem like a weird question. Was that fight easy? Because it certainly looked like it at times.
It's like, I make my training camp so hard, that's why the fight looks easy. And my coach, Pavel Fedotov, he's like, every single training, he's putting me in all difficult positions. And we are trying to focus on what my opponent gonna do, what strategy they're gonna have. Even something they usually don't do, we're still working on it. And that's why I'm training very hard to make my fight easy. And this is what I want from my fight. Yes, to make them look easy, but if you see my preparation and what I did for the training camp, you would not say that.
What are you most proud of in your growth as a martial artist since you've been a champion?
What I'm proud that my team, it's the best team. This is what I'm proud the most. And I just feel so lucky that I have people who surround me. They are so amazing. And it's for me, it's the most important because leading to the fight, leading to training camp, they just give me this positive energy and motivation to keep doing what I'm doing. And I think this is maybe the secret of success, because what people surrounds you, it's give you something extra.
We've heard some athletes over the years, even after a big game, they're just so motivated, they'll still train the next day after a big match. They'll still go work out in something. I know your sister is obviously fighting, so you're going to be part of her camp. But Valentina, tomorrow, will you still go for a run? Will you still
No
do
way.
any workout?
No way, no way. I did train for like a long time. I'm not that crazy one. I'm obsessed with martial art, but not so.
How will you celebrate something like tonight?
Tonight, we have friends. They are came from different states, from Colorado, from Nevada, from New Jersey, from Kansas, some from different states, and we just gonna have a little party. Our I could say family party. I really like it. Like keep it very like family small, and for me it's like it's feeling you for the new explore for the new things to do.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Valentina, back here. Flawless performance out there tonight. Looks like you barely even fought, if at all. Are you thinking about when you might want to get back in there next?
As soon as UFC gonna give me the next name, I'm ready to get back. Yes, I feel great. I feel amazing, and my goal didn't change. I want to fight more frequently. It's not every time depends on me. I know media was bringing like during the last media days what we have a lot that last few years I was fighting twice a year and like I never count, but they told me. But goal still the same. It was not because of I wanted it. It just was certain circumstances why I could not fight, but I still want to fight more frequently.
Of course, and you mentioned your 28 years in martial arts. I'm just curious, from your standpoint and being such a big part of history, for the women in mixed martial arts, what would you say the defining moment has been for them?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Just throughout the history of MMA, for the women specifically, do you think that there's one specific moment that kind of stands out among the rest as like, that's our moment that like, really solidifies the power of the women in mixed martial arts?
I think probably yes. This is like the time for female martial arts. And this is a great time because, it's not because only like through the everything, it's like saying woman has to go forward. It's not only because of that. It's the most important that women, they are now so strong, so technically strong. So if we look back at the fighters like back few years ago, they was more simple, not that universal. But now we can see exactly fighters who can bring like a lot of martial arts, a lot of beautiful arts, and stay like attractive, beautiful, and like feminine, do all the things. And it's like, it's kind of combination what make it like the best time for us to do our thing.
Well said. Thank you, Valentina. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Valentina, right over here. Congratulations on another spectacular performance. The crowd really got behind you tonight. How did that contribute to your success?
It was amazing. It was the best feeling, and it's kind of like I just feel that I have extra motor like behind me working and like pushing me forward to go, and like because when I was going out for the fight, and I heard everyone like screaming my name, and I heard it was amazing. I even cannot like explain what I feel because it's so huge, so big.
And last one from me. We've seen you on the big screen co-starring with the likes of Halle Berry. Should we expect to see you cast in another movie soon?
I hope so. I can't wait to see the premiere of the movie because it's like so. I definitely know it's going to be very, very wonderful thing. And Halle Berry, she called me after the fight. She congratulated me, and she's kind of person who brings so much good vibes, good energy. And she was like wishing me luck leading to the fight. And it's like it's everything. It's bringing me so much motivation to have this fight what I had, because knowing that people like rooting for me, like Halle Berry or like Mickey Rourke or like everyone, all my fans. It's like, it's amazing.
Thanks, Valentina.
Valentina, por aquí en español, por favor. Dos preguntas. La primera, ¿qué se siente ser tan dominante en el UFC con tantas defensas y seguir ganando campeonatos y de esta manera tan dominante? ¿Cómo te sientes? ¿Qué se siente?
Se siente, no sé, yo así la persona como no puedo decir, oh, se siente tan bien, maravilloso. No, se siente que yo tengo que entrenarse de la misma manera. La misma manera, también, tal vez más duro y más duro, porque yo sé que cada uno quiere mostrar su poder, cada uno de mis contrincantes, y yo solamente no puedo dar esta oportunidad para ellos, porque yo sé exactamente, si yo no voy a entrenar, ellos están entrenando duro. Y esto que me motiva para que mostrar mi poder, mi técnica, mi arte dentro del octágono y seguir ganando mi cinturón, defenderlo.
¿Y hay algún rival, alguna rival que tú digas, yo quiero pelear con esta rival, me es interesante como artista marcial, quiero ver cómo peleo contra ella? ¿Hay algún rival, algún contrincante que pienses en tu división?
Yo creo que en esta etapa ellos están buscando peleas conmigo y yo estoy dispuesta a pelear con ellos, pero no, todos van a decir mi nombre, yo no.
Valentina, usted decía que la pelea con Amanda Nunes iba a pasar naturalmente. ¿Cree usted que la presión del fanático que quiere ver la tercera pelea, que esa presión va a obligar a Amanda a venir a pelear contigo?
Oh, yo no sé, no puedo meterme en su cabeza y saber qué está pensando, pero esta conversación que está siempre en el aire sobre mi Amanda, está durando como, no sé, 3, 4 años. Entonces ya estoy acostumbrada para esto. Thank you so much. Thanks so much, everyone.
Valentina, could we take a picture with the belt?
Yes.
Rose, congratulations. Obviously, just an absolutely incredible victory for you. I mean, we saw the emotion pouring out there in the cage, but now you've had a little chance to soak it in. I mean, what's the feel like for you right now?
Still on cloud nine. It's like Dr. Camille was using the analogy earlier about, you're kind of comparing your head and your emotions to like a snow globe being shaken up. So little snowflakes is falling. Yeah.
You didn't get a whole lot of cage time with her, but obviously she had some crazy fights before. What did you see? I mean, did she move like you thought she was? Strength, speed, all those things?
Yeah, I mean, she definitely was quick. I was expecting that. I was also expecting her to be very determined and very, just ready. And I was ready to go 25 minutes if it had to go to that. So, yeah, obviously it was pretty short, but I, got my range on her. I have really good timing, and thanks to my coaches and my preparation, this was, that's kind of the product.
Yeah. The high kick was perfect. Did you go in like thinking that would be a weapon that you could use, or is it just something that you saw?
Yeah, I've been building my dexterity and my legs a lot lately. It's just been something that's been happening over time, and I have a Taekwondo background, and I have I think it's like the longest leg reach in the female division. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's up there. So that's something that once we got Trevor's fundamentals in the jab and the boxing fundamentals for MMA, we just start adding in them Pat Barry kicks in there again.
In the cage, you addressed everything that happened before the fight. I'm just curious, was it difficult? Did it break your concentration? Was it difficult, to not be talking about a fight anymore? We're talking about these comments that were made. Was that hard for you in the build-up for this?
It was a little hard just because that wasn't my intent, you know. I was just being myself and trying to talk about my history and stuff and my story. Nothing, never was personal against Whaley. These are just, you know, obviously, I don't know. Every opponent's a little different and it kind of brings something out of you, but yeah, and never was my intent, but it's something that I was thankful for the obstacle to overcome that because every champion goes through, I think, the ups and downs of, you know, people loving them and people hating them at the same time.
So what steps do you take now, right? Like, you openly talked about the pressures of being a champion and all that, but hey, now I'm ready for it, and it's clear it means something to you. But
Yeah.
what steps do you take now to make sure that you don't reach that same place again?
Just make sure that I give back, you know. I have to kind of talk with my team and figure out exactly how I want to do that. I know that there's some things on the horizon. There's like in May, there's an Earthship build that I was maybe thinking about participating in. But we'll see what's the best route of action going forward.
Last thing for me, I'm sure you're going to want to enjoy this, and the great thing about being champions, you don't have to match make, right? They come to you, but is there anything that most appeals to you? I mean, do you feel like a rematch would be fun to make sure that, you know, people know this is, you know, you're the true champion, or do you feel like there's other names that make more sense? Is there anything you want to fight next?
No one like really, there's no obvious answer at the moment. I kind of want to see how, you know, Carla and Jan play out. If that's next month, right? Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah.
Rose over here, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're big about being the best version of yourself. Was this the best version of Rose Namajunas that we've ever seen in the octagon tonight?
I would say so. Yeah. Just everything, my discipline, my focus, my preparation, you know, the team, like just everything going into it. I just was myself the entire time.
And how much did being in a similar situation at UFC 217 come into play? I know it's a different thing with Joanna, but kind of same situation. People were counting you out. You a very good champion, and you showed up and showed out and closed the show that night. Did that something like, I done this once, I can do it again, or was it completely separate times in your life?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, there were some similarities. There's always like going into every fight, you know, the natural human kind of thinking patterns are like, oh, last time it was like this, or this time it's going to be like that. And, you know, I just had to keep reminding myself that no expectations, you know, I just was focusing on just performing and being my best self, you know, and then whatever the result is, I can't control that, you know, I just can only control how I react to things and just control my own emotions. So that's all I was focused on.
How does it feel that hear Dana say, now that you're the first woman to ever get her belt back and to be a two-time strawweight champion, do you think this punched your ticket to be a future Hall of Famer? I know you're still in the middle of your career.
I mean, you know, I'm all about setting records, so let's keep doing it.
So we say safe to say that you're focused now on being the GOAT of the division?
You know, I don't know if that's always been my focus, you know. If that happens, that happens. But for me, it's all about just doing whatever it is that I can to give back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rose, what did you think of Kamaru's finish in the main event?
Oh, it was beautiful, beautiful hook cross. Like that was, you know, he's been putting a lot of work in with Trevor, and it showed. You know, I mean, I didn't get to watch like every minute of that fight because I was, you know, backstage myself, but that finish was amazing.
Hey, Rose.
Hey. Oh.
Go ahead. Does getting the belt this time feel better than getting the belt the first time?
Yeah, I think so. The first time, I mean, it definitely that was a whole unique experience in itself. I mean, it's almost like, you know, I don't like to play favorites with my fights, even my losses. You know, they're all part of the journey, and I wouldn't take it back for anything. So, obviously, the first time was special in itself, but this time I really loved just. Well, the experience going into this one and kind of having things to expect, but then not really at the end of the day, just kind of just going with it and going with the flow.
Your teammate, Kamar Wuzman, he predicted that you get the knockout unembedded.
Yeah.
Did you know you were going to get the knockout?
I felt like there was a really good chance that I could drop her for sure. My power is something different, you know. It's not a lot of girls hit like me. So, and that's just something that I've been over time of believing in a little more and more.
And lastly, Joanna, she wants a rematch. She wants a shot at the title. Do you think you're going to have some say at who you're going to be fighting next, or will you take whoever the UFC gives you?
I mean, yeah, I could probably do whatever I want right now, So it's just a matter of what seems appealing to me at the moment. So it's just kind of have to let things settle, I think, for a bit.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Hey, Rose. So Trevor obviously coached both you and Kamaru. Whose after party is he going to?
Well, we just gonna be chilling. So I'm sure. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I think there's this idea out there, how does Rose feel about all the attention that comes with having the belt? And you talked about it a little bit. It's like, you want it to be different this time around. Can you just discuss that a little bit now that it is right back there in front of you and around your waist?
Yeah. I want to, produce fruit with this, with this seed that I've been given. So I just want to get back, and I think that's going to be the main focus right now.
Thank you, and congrats.
Thank you.
Rose back here. Dana mentioned that he sounds a little bit interested in maybe a rematch with Weili right away. Is that something you think you should wait on, or would you be open to it?
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about it. I have it's understandable that she's pretty upset about how how quickly it went and everything like that. But that was perfect time and everything like that. So I'll be open to it, and we'll have to see.
And you're good friends with Valentina, who just wants to be insanely active as a champion. Are you hoping to be kind of the same way and just fight as much as possible at this point?
Yeah, that's something that I've been wanting to be more active for a while now, but just roadblocks and life gets in the way, or just broken nose and all that stuff. So if that's what is in my path, I will do that.
And last thing for me, you've been a solid part of history, obviously breaking these records and all this, have these great moments. Just for the women in mixed martial arts, and having been a part of the history, like I mentioned, what would you say has been the defining moment for women in MMA?
The defining moment in women's MMA. Gosh, I mean, there's so many, right? You got Ronda Rousey, who opened the door for us into the UFC, and then you got and all of her amazing fights, and then Amanda Nunes, who took it to a whole nother level, and and then I guess I set my own record by getting this thing twice. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm just like humbled and flattered to be a part of this whole journey and just be a part of it.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Rose.
Thank you.
Rose, right over here.
Yep.
First of all, congratulations on a great performance.
Thank you.
The fans were showing you love all week, and it reached deafening points tonight as you got the belt wrapped around your waist. As one of the few people who ever get to experience that kind of moment, can you please describe how that made you feel?
Made me feel so grateful and humble and blessed.
Thanks, Rose.
Thank you. Cool. All right. Thank you, guys.
Well, guys.
Kamar, congratulations. I mean, obviously a huge win for you no matter what, but I mean, to do it in that type of fashion, pretty incredible. So just what's the emotion like for you after a performance like that?
Just amazing. I mean, I put a lot of time into this, and shout out to Masvidal. I mean, he I had to bring my A game. He elevated me. He gave me that extra oomph that I needed, in training. So, I'm just blessed to be in this time right now.
I know, obviously, you're confident in yourself and you're confident that your striking skills are improving, but I do wonder, I mean, as you guys were game planning, was there ever a part where you're like, we could just go knock the guy out. That'd be easy.
Absolutely. There's two setups to that right hand that I just envisioned them landing. And, That one was one of them. You know, I tried the second one in the first round, but he's a veteran. You know, he's game, and he saw it coming. So I just had to stay composed, and I was going to find it.
What was going through your mind during that opening round, right? Because you had the takedown, you controlled him a bit, but it looked like you were being very aggressive on the feet a little bit as well. So how did you feel things were playing out?
I was like, it's a whole lot of energy in this building right now. It's a little different than just being in that Apex fighting. It's a little different, but we had to stay composed and go out there and take care of business.
Yeah. You touched on the nerves that you felt the first time around especially, right? I mean, the short notice and everything that was going on. Did you feel those same nerves tonight against him?
I felt nerves, but, you know, not as severe as that one. I mean, there was a lot of circumstances flying all the way across the world, you know, not sleeping the whole time. You know, I truly had only maybe 4 days to try to prepare for that. Going into it with the broken nose, really, really bad bunion on my right foot. And, you know, it was tough for me to deal with. But I still chose, like a champion, I still chose to go in there and defend my title. And, you know, I needed to put a definitive finish on that chapter and flip the page, and I did that tonight.
Dana was here earlier, and he said you're clearly one of the best in the world right now, on your way to being one of the greatest ever. To hear that type of praise from him, I wonder if it means something to you, because obviously we know the history, right? There were times when maybe he wasn't your biggest fan. So to hear him converted, does that mean something to you?
Well, it's just, you know, he's understanding what I set out to do. You know, I have big goals for myself, and, you know, I want to see it truly. On Monday, pound for pound, right now, I'm the best fighter on the planet. And, you know, I just want to see that on Monday.
Yeah. Now, the reward for this victory is you get Colby Covington, it sounds like. I'm just curious, does the idea of that matchup excite you because you'd like to go in there and beat him again, maybe silence him? Or is it like, my God, I know what I'm going to have to deal with for, you know, however many months this thing builds up, and do you dread it almost?
I mean, I've finished really my last 3 opponents. I finished them all. And so right now, it's just, you know, I just need to, you know, take some time and continue to train and get better. But these guys got to show me something, because right now I'm the champion. I'm the most active guy in the division. These guys can't just wait around and wait for me to, you know, call their number. You know, they need to show me something. But I've asked Dana. I fought any and everyone they put in front of me. I never said no. These guys ducked me for years. But I got here and I haven't ducked anyone. And so, like I said, this is like a track meet. I'm so far ahead of these guys. I'm coming around the track, and I'm coming around with vengeance right now.
Last thing for me, you know, you said, hey, I don't know how long I'm going to be here, so I want to stay active. You know, I want to get what I can do. Do you have an idea? Is it too soon, or do you know how you feel right now, like when we would see you again, whether it be Colby or somebody else?
I feel good, and that's the most important thing. I feel good. I'm just blessed to be here. I'm living in the moment, and that's just where I want to stay.
What was it like putting the belt around your father?
It was amazing. I mean, my family's finally complete, and to have him experience that, especially in front of a crowd like that, and feel that energy, is nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like it.
And then you obviously strike me as someone that the boos don't really get to them. So when you're walking out and you hear all those boos and then you go and do what you just did, does that make this a little more sweet that you did in the state he claims?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make me any difference. You know, I competed in the gym with maybe 10 people wrestling for years, and you know, I've done it in front of a sold-out crowd at the T-Mobile Arena, you know, and breaking someone's jaw. So, you know, boos or chairs, it doesn't really, you know, make a difference to me. I just have to go out there being professional, and I do my job, and that's what I do best.
Come on over here. Do you think finally, after this performance, that they're going to finally put some respect on your name?
Well, you know, that's up to them. That's not up to me. But I just need to continue to do what I do, and that's dominate each and every individual. And that's, you know, my last 3 opponents, and I finished all 3 of them.
What else do you think you need to do to be the GOAT of 170 of all time? Because we don't have that image of you getting knocked out that GSP had.
I don't worry about that. You know, I take it a fight at a time. You know, if people want to consider me the best, then, you know, they can, you know. But as of right now, I do believe that right now, pound for pound, I am the best fighter on the planet.
If you finish that second lap and lap the field, would you ever move up for a mega fight at 185?
I would definitely, but not if Israel is at that weight. You know, that's my brother. And, you know, like I said, I've said it before. I'd rather 2 Nigerians with belts than 1 with 2 belts.
What do you think about Dana saying that UFC Africa is a big possibility in 2020? How much does that get your blood going to be part of that and make history again over there in the motherland?
Oh, man, I'm ecstatic. I can't wait. You know, I know there's some things that need some hoops we need to jump through, but once we jump through them, sign me up.
Kamar, I imagine when you were thinking about this fight in advance of it, possibly the most satisfying way to end it would be to knock him out on the feet in the manner you did. So to actually pull that off, how satisfied are you with this victory?
I'm satisfied. You know, that's what I said. I wasn't satisfied with the last one, and I wanted to be satisfied tonight, and I got that.
What do you think Jorge goes from here, right? Because he's made himself this superstar, but now he's lost to you twice. What do you think his position is in the division?
Okay, there's something I just want to touch on about that. I'm growing in this sport, and I'm growing with integrity. You know, I worked my ass off to get to the point where I am. You know, a lot has been made about this guy's a superstar, this guy's yeah, I understand, you know, more power to him. But for myself, I am all those things as well. You know, I just show it in a different way. You know, leading up to this fight, I didn't have to show me flying in a private jet or this car or that car. I like nice things too, don't get it wrong. But I need to show people that it's important for them to see the work that goes behind it. You know, I worked for all these things. I worked for the chance to deserve all those nice things. You know, I might have not came in a private jet, but I damn sure I'm leaving.
If I saw you and Jorge spoke in the Octagon after the fight, would you mind just sharing what you said to each other?
Just respect. I respect any man that's willing to get in there and share that Octagon with me. And he elevated me. He motivated me to get better, and I did. And just respect to him.
Would it be fair to say that some of the issues you and him had before this fight aren't necessarily with each other, but perhaps some of the people around each other?
Possibly. It's fair to say that.
Okay. You said you want to see something from Colby, and I understand what you mean by the division, kind of people sort of wait for their shot. Would you rather not give it to Colby next, knowing that he's just done what Jorge has done and sat out, waiting until essentially you would pick him?
I don't worry about these guys. Like I said, you know, my daughter allowed me to go away for 6 weeks to prepare for this fight. And so that's the only person I owe, something to. I owe her a vacation, and I owe her some time to just love on her and be home with her. That's the most important thing to me. But like I said, these guys need to show me something, motivate me to not just stomp feet, motivate me to do something. And, once they do that, then, we'll see who's next.
Last one from me. Dana White says Nick Diaz is coming back to fight and is entering possibly your division. Any interest?
If Nick wants to get in here and deal with this African lion, more power to him.
Thanks, Juan.
Hey, champ. Kamar over here. Kamar, I asked Rose this, and I want to ask you this. Trevor Whitman coached both of you guys to big wins. Whose after party is he going to?
He's probably going home, going to sleep, because he's got an early flight. But, yeah, Rose is, like I've said before, she's a special athlete, and she proved that tonight.
How motivating was it to see? I'm assuming you knew that, she just took her out with a head kick in the back, even if you didn't watch it. What was that like before you get out there?
No, I saw it, and I saw her train that, and I knew that could land. So I was ecstatic. I was extremely excited for her. I know how much she put into this. And, I'm blessed, and I'm thankful to be able to be at this moment to see her accomplish that.
If I'm not mistaken, only 5 fighters in UFC history have ever gotten 13 wins in a row. You have 14. There's only one guy, Anderson Silva, who ever had more with 16. Does a number like that mean anything to you after everything you've done?
No, I worry about the next one. If I don't take care of the next one, then I don't get to that number. So I'm worried about the next one and the next one and the next one. And, we'll see what happens.
What kind of effect did it have on you, just for your mood, to have Francis Ngannou, the new heavyweight champion, there with you this week?
It was great because if anything popped off in this hallway, if one of y'all want to get lippy, I'm just going to, have him jump in here and clean house. So, yeah, that feeling's great.
Respectfully, Israel, 2 title defenses, Ngannou just got his belt. You've got, you're the most dominant African champion in the UFC right now. You still think Ngannou would be the main event over you in Africa?
I'm the most dominant champion in the UFC, period. And like I said, next week, I want to see that pound-for-pound list because I think right now I am the best pound-for-pound. But when it comes to Africa, how do you deny the heavyweight champion the main event spot? So you guys can argue with him about that.
Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Hey, champ. All things considered, fans back in attendance, your family here, everything. Best performance of your career so far?
I mean, the energy was electric. Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm satisfied with that one.
And being real for a second, you know you put him out when he went and hit the canvas. Did it feel good to get some of those extra shots in there?
What do you mean, extra shots? What do you mean?
Maybe one or two?
It was extra shots? The ref didn't pull me off yet, so, you know, I keep going until the ref pulls me off. And, you know, those are super necessary.
And I got to say, lastly, you did predict the knockout unembedded with Rose. You called it.
Yes, like I said, she's a special athlete, and I'm amazed to be able to watch her perform.
And has it settled in yet, because you're a surefire Hall of Famer, what you're going to wear to that induction ceremony?
No, like I said, I don't worry about that. You know, when I'm 50 and I'm sitting in a rocking chair and watching my daughter, you know, do her thing, and maybe grandkids, then I can look back and say, man, you know what, I did some pretty cool things. But right now, I'm just taking it time at a time.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Kamar, Suleiman Falana, BBC Africa. All week, everything that was said was he had the city, he had the crowd, he had the state. But no one mentioned that you had 1.2 billion people supporting you on a continent somewhere else. How big a win was this for you today? Knowing fully well that you're not only the first African, but every time you step into that octagon, you represent the most populous black nation in the world.
It meant a tremendous amount because, like I said, you know, growing up, you don't see, I didn't see role models like myself. And that's what I want to be. I want to be that role model to motivate everyone from Nigeria, from Morocco, from Cameroon, all the way down to South Africa. I want to motivate them and let them know that, hey, this can be done. So this one was extremely satisfying for me tonight.
You said there are only two fighters that you feel like you didn't take their soul. Do you feel like you took your soul tonight? Was this a baptism?
I had to go out there and I definitely blessed them. I did. I blessed them. You know, he pushed me. He motivated me to come out there and do what I did tonight. And I'm just happy and I'm just blessed.
So you come across as a tough guy, but I found out today that you're daddy's boy. Did you plan to actually have that belt wrapped around his waist, or that just was something that
Absolutely.
happened?
You know, you envision it in your mind, and the crazy thing is you just can't wait to see it all unfold. And when it's actually unfolding, it's a surreal moment. So I'm blessed to be living in this moment right now.
Couple more from me. We're Africans, and our parents work a lot. They're barely there when we have school events or athletic events. You're a father now. Your daughter's based in Florida. You're training in Colorado. Are you going to be moving to Colorado full time? And does that mean you move your daughter to Colorado with you, or are you going to be shuttling back between Colorado and Florida?
For now, I'm just going to be doing back and forth because you know, I don't want to just move my daughter like that. You know, she's got roots, and I need to see those sprout first. So, you know, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing for now. I mean, it's working.
Last question. Trevor Whitman pulled a double shift today. What are you guys getting him?
Well, I mean, Trevor riding clean now, you know. So, no, amazing coach, great individual, and it shows. You know, we love to work with him, and he loves to work with us, and it all shows out there tonight.
Congratulations again, and you are definitely the pride of Africa.
Thank you. Ninja, I don't tear them. We don't ever carry last.
Kamar, just right here. To have Jorge, after everything he said in the lead up to the last fight and this, say, no excuses, he had my number, he's the better man. What does that kind of mean to you?
It's satisfying. You know, I wanted to be satisfied tonight. You know, like when I compete against another man, I want to be satisfied in knowing that man respects me for what I do. And, you know, that's all it is. I'm satisfied.
Are you satisfied with the first win over Colby, and maybe that's why you're not as keen to chase that feeling with the rematch?
I broke the kid's jaw. Like, I mean, how satisfying can you be after that? So, you know, I'm not really worried about any of these guys. Right? Like I said, I've lapped the field. I'm coming around, and I'm coming with a vengeance. So, you know, they have to show me something, motivate me. Jorge, I wasn't satisfied. He didn't, you know, so he still motivated me, gave me that extra oomph. So, just want these guys to show me that. And, you know, like I said, I've fought everyone that's been put in my way, in front of me. You know, these guys all ducked me for years. And I just came through, and I came through like a Miami hurricane.
Do you think Nate Diaz could be a guy to motivate you if he does something with Leon coming up here in a few weeks?
We'll see. We'll see. You know, I just heard something about Nick, too, so, you know, you never know.
Awesome. Thank you, Kamar. Congrats.
Thank you.
Kamar, to your right over here. You know, we talked about the welterweight division, how deep it is, and you've ran through everybody in your career so far. Just put out Masvidal, like the first time he's put out that way. Who would you say has been, you know, your toughest opponent in your career so far?
Myself. You know, when I go out there and I do what I do, I dominate everybody. You know, that's why I feel like I'm the pound for pound best fighter. I dominate everyone. And so, you know, as long as I'm in there and I'm present, you know, I go out there and I do my thing and I dominate everyone.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kamaro, first of all, congratulations on a historic performance. You're the man they built this card around, and this is actually the third time in your career that you've headlined a card with 3 title fights. What do you think that says about how the UFC values your star power?
Is this the third one? The first one doesn't really count. I was in the main event. John Jones.
Mistake.
Yeah. So, you know, Dana sees what I see. You know, it's kind of tough. You know, I know a lot of people want to put me in this box. They want me to talk the trash and do the whole this and show Rolls Royce and the private jets, even though I can afford those things. You know, I don't necessarily need to show that. I want to show the hard work that it took to get here. You know, I want to show all those kids that are watching me. And, you know, nowadays that's the problem is everyone sees that. They see the private jet, they see the Rolls Royce, and they don't see the work that goes into getting that. They don't know how to get that. You know, that's important for me to show how to get that. And, you know, like I said, I didn't necessarily fly here in a private jet, but I damn sure I'm leaving on one.
And last one from me is you heard the boos coming from the fans during the week. However, they definitely turned into cheers after you secured the victory. Can you just describe how that made you feel?
The electricity was incredible. Boos or cheers, it doesn't matter. You know, they just wanted to see violence tonight, and I gave them that. So you're welcome.
Thanks, Kamara.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.